Hello, my name is Scott for SB Gaming and welcome back to Transport Fever Truck Fever Edition, and this episode marks the starting of the last 2 weeks of the series. The series will be running daily over the next 2 weeks. There will be 13 episodes after this, and I have a lot of plans, including of course getting the rest of the network set up. We also have or will be having a small additional train line set up for freight. It's not the freight you think it's going to be, but it is going to be something I spend a little bit of time off screen trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to handle this sawmill, because with the way that production and demand and potential works, the forest here is more likely to send its products over here to be shipped off to one of these facilities. I want to get this sawmill up and running. I want it to maintain production, and so the only way to do that, of course, is to supply logs over to here and then over to one of these. And since there are no goods or machine factory off in this area, which is unfortunate, what basically happens, and because we have sawmill here, what will basically happen is that all these logs here will get shipped off here. When I had that spur line bringing them into this area after delivering them this way, all that got delivered here was basically logs. There are some planks showing up there, but mostly just logs. Logs are probably destined for over here, possibly also for over here. So that is unfortunate. And so my plan is to run a limited freight train service from here all the way along here, stopping off here with, of course, the curved station mod, and then they will be getting shipped along this line, across here, over to here, and back to here. Now the train will not be going back the other direction. I'd have to double track that, but the goal, of course, is to, if we can see, take the train from here and just cut it across over to here. Now, one possibility I could have done was have a train run from here over to here, and then a second train running from here over to here to bring logs and then planks back. But I have a feeling that actually maybe not. I doubt they would have got shipped. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do a loop from here over to here, over to here, and force these logs to get turned into planks, which get turned into goods. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run a line cutting across here to return the train back here. And so that is a roughly, that's a triangle, and so 2 out of the 3 lines are going to be running full, so that is the thing. Now, what train do you think I am going to be running on this freight line? I could have a variety of different trains, including the big boy, if I brought it back. We could use electrics. No, that's just too silly. We could use the 113 km/h top speed GE C40-8W, which I used in my main series. But no, we're going to bring back the Mogul, indeed. 75 km/h. Bringing back the Mogul, and of course we are going to bring back all the freight wagons. We are going to use this state car, which has an 80 km/h top speed, and the main reason is to reduce its costs, because I don't want to spend $200,000 a year for 18 units versus 36K per year for 7 units. So and since we don't plan to ever go above 75 km/h, I really do not need the extra top speed or theoretical top speed for this. It's just silly. I will be bringing these state cars back in my USA Free Play series, where I am mainly running these things. I'm mainly running these, so On any line that is running these, I will be, of course, switching over to the middle tank cars, box cars, stuff like that. Just because I really do not need the extra cost as well as speed that the box cars theoretically offer. It reduces it by 2/3 or two-thirds of the capacity, but we will, of course, if you see here, 96.5k per year. If we have to add 50% more wagons to get to the same capacity and the same length, I think. I'd have to check the stats, but I'm pretty sure for the same length we can get as long of a train as with these as these. But 50% of the price on top of this is about 140 something thousand per year, 200,000 per year, so we'd be saving money on top speed we really do not need. And yet running costs are partially based on your top speed, so the higher the top speed, the more they will relatively cost. But yeah, other than that, wow, 15 tons to 25 tons. That is a 10-ton upgrade, which is slightly more than the relative. Yeah, so they'll be lighter. They'll be, what was it? They'll be lighter. They'll be cheaper. They'll cost less, 579k versus 1.2 million. Yeah, you're paying twice as much for boxcars but you're only getting 50 extra % capacity. So we will be running those. I will be waiting to set up the Moguls in another episode, but for now we are running the M-300s, and we've let time tick forward a bit. Let's jump over to the stops, and things have been really upticking on the M-300 line as we have 22 people there. We got 14 and 15 in either direction. We have 14 and 8, so people are definitely interested in traveling. We got 21 and 9, and we got over here, we got 32 people wanting to travel. Oh, indeed. In addition, at the end of the series, I may start running planes. I brought back this small airport, and I brought back the Dornier Mercure, which is a 5-capacity, 175-kilometer plane. And so we may have limited flight in this mission or this map as well. Anyway, let's get to doing the purpose of the episode, which is, of course, the Saint Paul to Thornton run. Although before we do so, and one thing I did do is get rid of the Flying Junctions mod. I didn't really like it, and it was just too much of a hassle to set up. But what I am going to want to do, can I build a depot here? It's be too much of a hassle there. Let's can I bring this across? It's too much slope. Can I can. And how does that you? Please tell me that's no. Okay, never mind. That's that. You know what? I can't stand a ugly. You. This is a little bit wonky. No, we have to sort this out. Actually, yeah, we're gonna replace this out because reasons. The ground was a little bit wonky when I removed the original bridge. Seriously, bridge pillar collision. We are not going to have that. So we are going to try again. Actually, one thing I'm going to want to probably do, I might as well do it right now. Let's just get rid of all this. Let's And one thing I don't need is a crossover there, if I can avoid it. Now, if I bring that up, yeah, let's bring that up. Now, how does that change that? All right. Now, how does that look? That looks fine, and yeah, we'll keep that. How does that change things there? Sure, that's fine. Now we're gonna bring this across and like that. And now we want a depot. No to catenaries. And let's just smooth this out because reasons. All right. Now we are going to want to put a M-300 on the, no. M-300 Salinas to, so that will go over to here. Hopefully it will go to Saint Paul. Let's just make sure. And apparently it's going to Denton, so we aren't... Seriously? Why would you be going to Denton unless you have to... Okay, yeah, I bought it on that side. Alright, that explains that. But we are not going to let it go all the way to Denton. And now we have 21 that want to go to Saint Paul, 9 for Tampa. What I would like to do, we're going to put a... one of these on. 21 via Saint Paul. It'll come into this, so yeah. Saint Paul. What it should do. And yeah, it's going to Denton. And now we want to come over here. And we are going to... no, it doesn't really matter. Let's buy train. And we are going to buy one for the Salinas to Saint Paul. I wish it would tell me which direction it was going, because that would be a key important consideration. 14 and 15. Do I have a... No, I don't. Okay. Well, we are going to put a depot right about here. Drop that down. And we are going to buy M-300 and M-300 line. And we are going to buy one more for over here. If we take a look at the... We have 6, 7 so far. I've added how many? 3? 4? So we had 3 total. I may have added some off screen, although I don't think so. We are going to buy one M-300 for over here. And Salinas to Saint Paul. Now that line is running a 3-minute frequency. It is giving me a profit of 339k, which is nice. It's been making me money over the last 4 years, so that is good. And yeah, more vehicles will mean more profit. We are going to do a replace out. And do we wait until 120, 150, or do we leave it to replace out? We will leave it to replace out. And yeah, all right. So that will take care of that. Just to confirm, this is going to the Salinas. All right, you Which one are you? You are this one here. And you are picking up. Yes, you are. And I'm going to want to wait. So this one is taking 13 people back. Nice, there's another 9 waiting. Let's go back to this one and wait until it gets past. There we go. You've been taken care of, you've been taken care of. You are picking up and you are going over to Buffalo. You've picked up 12 people. And we have 14 heading towards Denton. You are the one in Denton, I think. Or, no, you're the one from Salinas. Alright, about that. Alright, so we are going to let that run, I think, on 1 speed. We will check back on it when it's 35. No, there'll be a train coming back fairly soon, so we don't need to worry about that. Anyway, we have our next leg of the trip to do. It is already 17 minutes into the episode, and we're just getting started to build. Alright, so we need to connect this up over to here. And we are going to put the signals, or not those, we are going to put the signals on. And so we have relatively simple section to do. One thing I'll mention is that I did restructure the roads a bit, and I made these look like they are part of a divided highway. I also did that over here. We have a little bit of a divided highway, it splits off, kind of like that. And I also did it over here. I wish we did have divided highways and one-way roads that we could utilize to make a little bit more, but yeah. Those were set up there. I figured I might as well mention them. Anyway, let's get back to building, and I'm going to put the contour lines on. So we need to go from 213 down to 195. What I'm not going to do is try to raise this up. We are probably going to just actually road bridge it. Let's just force it down, although with that said, we want one of these. And we need to go there, so we're going to force that there. I wish it would retain the setting that you had it on. Let's pull that back just a bit. And I want to just snap it. And we are going to double track it. And we are going to need to put the road back in. And that goes in without any problems. Nice. Now this road I don't think is being used for anything. Yep, I routed the traffic onto this interchange here. It comes through here. We no longer have an actual loop. This got disconnected just because reasons. So we have, yep, one going in there, one going in there. Other than that, yeah, there's not really any loop there. I don't think I've improved anything there. So what I can do, we are just going to disconnect that off since we do not need it. And we are going to continue building. This will be relatively simple, and we have no. What is no? Seriously? What if I get rid of those? Like that. fine. And now it wants to put a bridge because reasons. Let's try to force it down. We can't. So what I am going to do, we are going to pull back. And we are going to right there. Speed does not really matter. You can bring it all the way down to 100. And we are going to force it flat because we don't want to gain any more height than we already have. Because we need to, of course, go downhill. Now, if we choose that... no, what I'm going to do, we are going to pull this back. We will probably dig a little bit further down. And that is fine right there. That digs a little bit further. That is good. And now we want to double track that. I'm going to throw crossover. We're just going to signal it up. And double track the rest. Let's let time tick. There we go. So we have that section complete. Yep, Saint Paul too. Now, what I'd like to do, we are going to put some crossovers. I have a few interesting things for the USA Free Play series. What I'm doing is restructuring some of the industry lines in the same way. There is one, yeah, the planks lines or setups have got overhauled, and so there will be some major changes in that series happening. The goal is to try to maximize industry production and output by, of course, streamlining the industry chains a little bit. One of the problems I've sort of run into or had a little bit of issues is where I'd have like one forest supplying 2 or 3 sawmills. Unfortunately, because production across the map for every industry is capped at 1,600, what ends up happening is that you end up, what's the easiest way to explain it? You end up having one forest trying to supply 3 sawmills, which end up unbalancing things, since the sawmills will be limited because they're having to share between themselves the output of one forest, and yeah, that can unbalance things. And so I am going to be maximizing the potential profitability and all that. Anyway, now we need to go over to Thornton. And so my plan was to come along here. So what I'm going to do, we are going to, first off, we are having to go from 194 over to 203. So yeah, we're going to keep it relatively flat and on the same level, although with that said, we are going to want to make it straight. So yeah, we're going to want to come through here. We're going to cut this. So right about yep, something like that. We'll keep it on the flat, although we will let it force itself up. Although what I'm going to do, we're going to force it flat there. And what I want want to do is try to bring it out early. And I'm at a 200. Okay, that's fine. And let's force it flat. Kind of. Okay, what I'm going to do, we're going to pull this back and alright, we're going to force it down just a bit. We are currently at 198. It's fine. And yeah, we're going to just do that. And now we're going to tunnel the rest of the way. And that is on the left side. We're going to take that. So we have a tunnel there. We have a tunnel there. We have another tunnel there. All right, now we just need to double track it. And like that. And like that. All right, so we have the Thornton to Saint Paul line set up, or at least built. We will need to run signals. We are going to need to run other stuff and other stuff, and then set up the line. We're just going to cross over there, and then we want one outside the tunnel and one more right here. I don't have any particular plans to run additional freight cargo, although with that said, I might set up a freight terminal here and run just a main line up to Wichita Falls, up through the center of the map, just for some more throughput, although I can see easily the train having to compete with the whatever it is, the trucks, because cargo prefers cheap rather than fast. Therefore, over the choice of a 75 km/h Mogul versus a 100 km/h truck, odds are the freight is going to favor the truck. So the Mogul will lose out, and I will not be running faster trains than the Mogul, at least for freight. We'll only be running the M-300 for passengers, because reasons. Now I'm going to want to, yeah, we're going to go high, and we're going to force this down. Let's run things on 1 speed. It's very tempting to do a lot of stuff off screen. I have to avoid the temptation to just let the game run and just do various things, because there are things that I do want to try to do on screen. Alright, like that. Now, we are going to soften that up. Definitely soften this up. And I definitely want this dropped down. Like that. To, of course, give our people something to look at rather than just a big wall of dirt on either side. That out. up. There we go. And smooth that out. There we go. Now, just to confirm, did I smooth all that out? I'm pretty sure I did. Let's just do one last check. Yep, we fixed that. Alright, so now, if we take a look at this, we are running a 13 passengers. There are 6 waiting there. We are running, waiting 13 to Saint Paul, 4 to Tampa. What I would like to do, we are going to turn trains on, and we are going to turn those off. I'm going to turn those off, and we don't want that. We have 13 for there. We have 19 waiting to go to Tampa, 1 waiting to go to Salinas. This one's coming in. It is carrying 13 passengers. We have 15 people waiting at Salinas. That is nice. 8 for Denton, 12 for Buffalo. And that one's loaded up. Nice. If we take a look at our M-300 line, it is making a profit of $189K. If we take a look at our finances, yeah, not enough time has really passed to really affect things. And it is only June though, actually. Finances, charts, we had a little bit of dip there. We've carried as many in the first half of the year as we have for the most part through the last several years, so that is a nice improvement. So yeah, this will definitely spike up. We will definitely get higher profitability, and we don't need that, although we don't have any ships. 14 and 4, that is nice. That train is on its way back. That one is on its way back as well. We have 8 people waiting here, so now it is, of course, time. Oh, this is going to be awkward, just because we're not going to be able to... Actually, no, never mind. Yep. We are going to buy an M-300 for the new... we are going to want to change this up. We're going to call it TP M-300. This is Saint Paul to Thornton. And what we are going to want to do is change this to, we'll go that color there, over here to Tacoma, and then down here in Thornton. Back to here, and then onwards back to Saint Paul. That will provide even more source of travel for, of course, Saint Paul. I'm actually curious, although first let's get that train on the line. We will wait until we put some more trains online for passengers to start showing up. What I wanted to do is check Salinas. 57% line usage, good. We got 620 population, 92% on the food, 93% on the construction materials. You know, I'd really like to get that to industry and commerce provider achievements. 70 and 70. If we had machines, a lot more machines coming in here, we'd get that achievement. 21 people waiting there. Actually, Buffalo has 48% line usage. Tampa has 57%. Denton has 61%. And Saint Paul has 59%. Now we are going to put the stops back on. And we got no one waiting for the Saint Paul to Thornton line. And the train has stopped here. It'll take a little while for interest to kick off. No one waiting there. And of course no one waiting there. Alright, about that. Anyway, at this point in time, what I am going to do is we are going to take a break here for reasons. Only 12 people. And that train, yeah. The Salinas to Saint Paul line, did I rename it? Salinas to Saint Paul, yep. It had the opportunity to bed in and get generate passengers. It'll take some time for the Thornton line to kick off. I'm going to want to pay attention to the passengers and every once in a while add more. Nice, 27 people. I have had some comments to chain multiple M-300 together. On this map, the maximum I will be running, of course, because the stations are 80-meter platforms, and I won't be increasing these sizes, is 3 of them at a time, just because I think it is M-300 is 24 meters in length, which means 3 of those will fit within one of these stations. So yeah, if I do run them chained together, I'll have to have a lot more passengers because I want frequency over passengers capacity. Yeah, if I came in here with 39 capacity on the M300, it would leave over half empty. So that's not something I want to do. Anyway, at this point in time, I'm going to take a break here. And we will continue off with more Transport Fever, Truck Fever Edition, although this is the M300 episode. And off screen, I may continue off the return line for our freight. Although with that said, I'm leaving it as is. In the last week of this series, we will be focusing on the industry. The focus right now, of course, is on the passengers and the M300 lines that we are setting up. Next episode, we'll most likely see Thornton over to Gainesville, over to Raleigh set up. And then I'll probably do Raleigh to South Bend, possibly Raleigh to Salinas and Raleigh to South Bend. But we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this episode of Transport Fever, Truck Fever Edition. Thank you for watching. My name is Scott for SB Gaming. And as always,